Hi guys and welcome back. When you go to Google and search "Does Finland have?", Google completes your sentence first of all as free healthcare and secondly as "Does Finland have nuclear weapons?". So about a week ago we had a nuclear incident in Finland. You may or may not have heard about it, but it happened. And currently the related reactor is still in the cold state due to the emergency shutdown. So I made a little research on Google and bumped into this place called Onkalo. What Onkalo is, a narrow cave, as a Finnish friend of mine translated to me. He even sent a picture of a forest with a cave. But what actually is a hidden place and a nuclear waste tomb, or with its formal name, Onkalo Spent Nuclear Fuel Repository. And it is being built in Finland. Well, since I can't go to the place to film it for you guys, they've been awesome. We're going to watch two videos together and educate ourselves about the topic. The first one is published by Tom Scott and the video is called "Inside the Tunnels That Will Store Nuclear Waste for 100,000 Years". And the second video is published by Geographics recently in November 2020. Tom Scott's video is older, it was published in 2019. So the second video is called Onkalo, Finland's 100,000 year nuclear tomb. We are not going to watch the whole second video, but we're gonna watch the full video of Tom Scott. So let's roll the intro first and then press the play button.
This is Onkalo, an island on the far west of Finland, and here they're building a tomb for something that really is dangerous. In a few years, the deep bedrock here will contain the world's first long-term storage site for high-level nuclear waste.
Guys, it looks like an ordinary Finnish island. I wouldn't have said that there is gonna be a nuclear waste tomb built in this island, so let's continue watching.
We do have nuclear power in the world, so where do we put the waste? I didn't know how it'd feel until I stood here. It is very strange to have 400 meters of rock above my head and knowing that inside that solid plug of clay there is high-level radioactive waste. This new tunnel complex is called Onkalo, which translates as cavity, and long-term storage really does mean long-term, 100,000 years.
100,000 years. 100,000 years. We don't even know who is gonna live there in 100,000 years.
A century's worth of high-level waste from all the current reactors in Finland will fit in the final version of this one new facility, but right now, around the world, high-level radioactive waste is generally stored near reactors. First in water ponds that require active cooling, and then in concrete casts that'll last, well, about as long as a concrete building would, not long enough.
By the way, have you ever watched Chernobyl, guys? It's an amazing series. If you are into these subjects, I highly suggest you to check it out. It's kind of like a cinema movie. Every episode feels like a cinema movie. Just go watch it, it's insane.
The US has been trying to work out a storage site for years, but their one serious attempt, Yucca Mountain, has been mired in politics for decades. Finland, here, is closest to building their solution.
The geology in Finland is very old. We are talking about 2,000 million years is the age of what we have below our feet here. And in that way, it's really stable and it represents the most ancient parts of this earth. High-level waste will be disposed of with cast iron copper canisters, and the canisters are put into the hole in the deposition tunnels, and the canisters are surrounded by bentonite clay. Clay has a low hydraulic conductivity, which means that the water doesn't transport through the clay. The spent fuel, when it's taken from the reactors into the disposal, it's highly radioactive, but with time the radioactivity will decrease. After 500 years, people can stand beside the canister and it's not dangerous.
exciting it is. Can you hear, guys? We can stand next to a radioactive thing after 500 years. But that's nothing, just 500 years, so no worries.
But there are some other long-lived radionuclides which might be harmful in case they would come up to the surface and into the drinking water, into the wells or biosphere. And therefore, the geological disposal will isolate the waste for 100,000 of years.
I want to say it once again. Of course, there should be a solution for this waste. We produced it and we have to deal with it. But I still can't believe a country like Finland, heaven-like country, is gonna be a home for a nuclear waste tomb, basically. So it just gives me chills. Obviously, there is no better place to place this.
This area isn't prone to earthquakes or other natural disasters. Geologically, it's about as peaceful as you can get. So the plan is, dig the tunnels, and then, for 100 years, put the casks of waste in, and then backfill each tunnel with clay so they're encased in solid rock, and once the site is full, fill in every bit of it, every last tunnel, and then leave it forever. There are multiple levels of containment. The idea is that even if one or two of them fail, everything will still be safe for 100,000 years, unless someone digs it up. When the US government was thinking about using Yucca Mountain as a storage site, they commissioned a now famous report on how to mark a site like this. How do you warn people away? Even if our civilization has collapsed, our language has fallen apart, and no one knows what radiation is. There were all sorts of ideas, from a spike field to forbidding blocks, but all of those would ultimately be a big sign saying, hey, there's something interesting under here, dig.
The facilities will be closed about 100 years, 6,500 tons for uranium. We had not decided what is the best way to mark that.
There was one other idea in that research paper. Don't mark the site at all. Once the repository is full, fill it in, seal it shut, and then hide it. So there's nothing remarkable at the surface. There are very few reasons to dig this deep, particularly here. The odds are slim that some future archaeologist would decide to dig 400 meters down in this remote location.
It's kind of like nobody visits that island anyways. Even if they visit, they wouldn't stay there longer. Even if they stay longer, they wouldn't dig anyway. So we don't need to put any sign.
If someone ignored all the warnings or arrived after everything had been eroded away up top, well, if they did break through all the containment in search of treasure, what they'd get is radiation poisoning and a particularly unpleasant death.
Okay, since he doesn't explain anything about this poisoning, I'm gonna watch or play another video here, which is called Onkalo, Finland's 100,000 year nuclear tomb.
Nuclear waste comes in 3 different levels: low, intermediate, and high. At the low end, you have stuff like clothing that's been doused in radiation. At the high end, you have the actual spent fuel used in power plants. For humans, coming into contact with high-level waste is about as healthy as snorting a line of anthrax. We measure the effect of gamma rays on the human body in something called sieverts. In a typical year, you or I might receive a dose of 2 to 3 millisieverts, and note the milli at the start of that unit. Like how a millimeter is way smaller than a meter. Well, spent reactor fuel will douse your body with an entire non-millisievert in less than an hour. When that happens, you can expect symptoms like your hair falling out, vomiting, and our favorite, internal bleeding in the eyes. Within a few weeks, you will be as dead as a Norwegian parrot. Although the level of danger drops exponentially after just 1,000 years, it isn't until you hit the 100,000 year mark that this kind of waste is safe for humans to handle. Hence, Onkalo.
So guys, if you think about it, I mean, I feel like we are leaving a legacy to the generations that are going to exist 100,000 years after us, and we should be more aware about it. I mean, I didn't even know that this place exists until today, and I feel like most of people have no idea about it. Maybe they are not interested as well, but let's draw some attention on it. If you liked the video, don't forget to like it, share it so other people would discover it as well. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet so you could support my channel and I can continue making videos. I'm going to see you next week. Moi moi till the next time.